welcome to day 4 of our 12 days of Christmas. Today I'm bringing on the Christmas bling in a big way. I have a piece of watercolor paper that measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and all around that piece I'm going to trace a frame that measures 1/4 of an inch from each of the sides. For this I'm using the outliner pencil from the Inktense set. So I have a T-square ruler here. I'm going to mark off my first 1/4 of an inch and trace a line all the way down. Very lightly. And I'm going to do the same on all 4 sides. Underneath the watercolor paper, I'm going to slide a piece of just straight up copy paper or a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to tape around that frame that I just created with the pencil or with the outliner. Now I can start stamping. The first image I'm going to stamp is the Noël banner. For this I'm using jet black archival ink. And I'm going to stamp that at the top. Next I want to stamp those that image right here, the Christmas balls or the Christmas ornaments, towards the bottom. Again using the jet black archival ink, about another 1/4 of an inch above the frame. I do apologize, I forgot to record the next step, but I took the frosted glass image. It looks like a bunch of scribblings, but to me it looks like frosted window, and I stamped with Versamark all over inside that frame. Then I took clear embossing powder and I embossed the whole thing. So I don't know if you can see while I'm moving the paper, but these are the etchings right here. So now we're going to get to coloring. To color the image, I'm going to be using these following Inktense pencils: Apple Green number 1400, Poppy Red 0400, Fuchsia 700, Iris Blue 900, and Teal Green 1300. I'm going to start with the background so that I can show you how cool these etchings look. To color the background, I have an aqua painter. This one is with the flat large tip, and I'm going to pick up some color directly on the pencil. And I'm going to load up the brush really well. I made sure that the brush is already activated by pressing on the tip. And then I'm just going to start coloring from the bottom, going up. And I go all the way up. So I'm going to do the same all around the bottom of the image. And I'm leaving sort of a white space in between the ornaments and the blue. That's a question of preference. I think it just adds a mysterious look to the image. My brush was too dry, so I just reactivated it again. Just be aware that the Inktense, once they are dry, they are permanent. So my suggestion to you when you're using Inktense is start by adding a little bit of color and go back if you need more. So this is what I have so far. I'm going to dry this, see what it looks like, and I might need to go back in and add some more color. I'm just going to do a little bit of the corner right here. Maybe a faint outline up here, because that's still part of the window. And you might not see the blue here, but when I remove the tape, you'll be able to see that there's a faint blue outline up top there. So let me dry this. And I kind of want to have those glass etchings to show a little bit more. So I'm going to add more blue here at the bottom. And that way you can see more of those frosted squigglies. I'm using very technical terms here. Now I'm going to move on to the other brush, which has a fine tip, and I'm going to go in between here just to refine right underneath the ornaments, because technically that is the window as well. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry before I work more on the other elements of the image, just because I don't want my colors to contaminate. Now I'm going to continue coloring the rest. Everything is dry, so I'm going to start with the banner, and what I do is I add color. Then I take the aqua painter, I'm using the fine tip for this, and I'm going to start where it's white and slowly move into my green. And then when I'm halfway, I clean up my brush and then I walk again. And that's going to give me a little bit of a highlight here towards the right, and that's what I want. So I'm going to basically color everything the same way. So I'll be fast forwarding through that so that it doesn't take too long for you to view, and then I'll be talking to you when I'm done. Okay, so now I'm finished, and I'm going to give you a close-up of each parts. I'm going to remove this now, remove the masking tape, and if it's spilled underneath or past the line, it's even more beautiful. I love those scraggly lines. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get some here and there. I didn't get too much, unfortunately. Alright, now we're going to do our last stamping. This time I'm going to use the sentiment. It says, bring on the Christmas bling, of course. Now the reason why I've left a bigger space here at the bottom is because our sentiment is going to be also part of the frame. Jet Black Archival ink again. I'm going to stand that right underneath. Next, I want to create a frame around the image, and for this I'm using a black marker. You can use any fine tip black marker. I just happen to have the Copic Multi-Liner 0.3 tip. My Pitt Artist pen in the S tip has dried up on me, but any permanent ink would do. And I'm going to use the pencil lines as a guide for my frame. And the way I do it is I hold my hand still on my mat using my little pinky as support, and I move my paper around, and I found this is much easier to do. So when I'm moving the paper around, I make sure that my line goes very sketchy. I don't want straight lines. And even I'm going to do a little doohickey here at the end just to give it more interest. But by doing so, I don't really have a break in my line. Even though I'm creating a sketchy line, I don't want breaks. I don't want an end and a finish. And then I'm going to end up here. So you can go around as many times as you want. I'm going to leave it like that because I like the way it looks. I'm going to give you a close-up again. See how I did the corners here? Little, kind of like little knots in a fishing line. Very thin. So I'm going to let this dry thoroughly, even though it should be dry by now. And I'm going to erase the pencil lines. And then we'll put together the card. And then we're going to add our secret final touch. I have a 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 red piece of cardstock, which I'm going to use to mat the image. There we go. My card base measures 6 by 12 that I folded in half to make a 6 by 6 card. I'm going to use foam adhesive to adhere the whole piece to the card base. Now here's where the magic is going to happen, and we're going to live true to the sentiment that we've put on the card, bring on the Christmas bling. We're going to add platinum bling, or platinum stickles to the card. And oh, let me tell you how yummy this color is. I've had it in my stash for the longest time. I've never used it. And it's so gorgeous as a color. So gorgeous. So I'm going to go around each of the pennants of the banner, and I'm going to add stickle to pretty much everything. I'm going to go easy on the tassels, and let me show you. It's still wet. You're not going to get the full effect, but look how gorgeous this color is. It's a perfect middle ground between silver and gold, and I just absolutely love it. I don't know why I've never used it before, being a bling lover that I am, but yeah. So I'm going to fast forward this, but I'll show you where I'm putting the bling. And that concludes our project for today. As you can see, it is very blingy, as the sentiment says. Bring on the Christmas bling. It definitely is the case. Love that stamp set. I think this is going to be my Christmas gift to myself. Love, love, love. I feel like I'm looking through a frosty window, and I love how it makes just a subtle accent to the background. So that concludes today's video. As usual, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And I will be back tomorrow with day 5 already. Day 5.